Akashic record readings are the collection of all the information that soul's life information. There are different types of spirit guides. It could be angels, archangels. It is always said that whatever decision we are taking as a person, as a one lineage, it affects the next three generations.
How do you explain it to a logical mind out there?
So there is no logical explanation because, as I said again and again, there is no proof. There is no proof that you can see, that you can touch.
Can channeling really help me enhance my decision making capacities?
Every time it is said that you need to pause, you need to go back to your own self. Channeling allows us to do so.
Can spirit communication help in resolving the unresolved issues with our loved ones, those who have passed?
Spirit communication is all about communicating with all kind of energies, all kind of spirits.
Welcome back, listeners. Today, we are going to be diving deep into the realm of Akashic reading further. And we are pleased to have Binita once again on the episode with us. Welcome, Binita.
Thank you, Pulkit, for having me again. It's always very interesting to work with you.
Yep, same here, Benita. The previous conversation we had around Akashic reading was really insightful. And today, I'm really looking forward to the conversation around channeling. For me, so far, channeling is a world of magic. I have seen it on TV series so far, the latest one being The Wheel of Time. So how, the protagonist in that channels the energy, we have those orange waves coming out, blue waves coming out. So that's what channeling is for me. But yes, I would like to dive deeper and understand the actual phenomenon of, channeling and how does it really help us out there. So, quickly, why don't you share your introduction with our listeners before we, move forward in our conversation?
So, as you have already said, I am Binita Moldrege and I am an Akashic record reader. I am an intuitive channeler and I communicate with spirits. So, as we move ahead, we are going to understand what spirit communication is. But this is what I do, and I have been walking this path from last more than 17, 18 years now. And I practice, I teach different modalities like Akashic, tarot, charms, pendulum. And when I am doing say a healing session or a reading session, I blend all of this to bring in a more empowered outcome for a person.
So, why don't we start with the world of channeling, what it is?
All right. So the experience that you shared about your knowledge of channeling, it is what you have seen on screen. It is something, it's not entirely untrue, but when we are channeling, we don't see those colors or the energies. That is just for the representation. So channeling is the process of receiving and transmitting information. It could be guidance, it could be energy, anything from the higher realm for how we can function on our earthly realms. It is the connection that we form with our spirit guides, and we use that connection to receive the insights and the guidance that we require to move on into our humanly experience, to our humanly life. So that's what the channeling is, if I have to explain it in a layman's language. Channeling is more about, being in present, having a wonderful relationship with your spirit guides. And it can be used for bringing on guidance in your life. Or if someone is an artist, if they were creating, say, art pieces, or they're writing a song, the channeling can be used for each and every aspect of our life. So that's what it is, the channeling is. So you go beyond the confines of our human mind and we connect with the non-physical world there.
Understood. So, Benita, we have often heard a lot of experts talking about the higher realm out there.
Mhm.
Now, as a layman, what is a higher realm for me? How do I really understand when a lot of experts, Akashic readers, the tarot card readers, on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube are constantly saying that we connect with the higher realm?
Mhm.
What exactly is a higher realm and how does that connection work?
So for us human, the higher realm is the state of consciousness.
Mm.
And As an Akashic reader, I would like to explain, how these recordings, Akashic readings work, because why I am bringing in it here, it will help our audience to understand what higher realms are.
Yeah.
So, Akashic record readings are the collection of all the information that soul's life information, every lifetime they have lived, every intention, every action they have taken. It is a library of that information. Now, I say library, but it's not a physical library that we can touch or see. It is in the energetic form. So, when we are talking about the higher realms, this is the energy that is vibrating at a certain level or a certain frequency. That is where we are tapping into. So, we can use channeling or the Akashic record reading, and through our subconscious mind, through by achieving that kind of an energetic state of a consciousness, of a human consciousness, we tap into that higher realm of energy. It is something which cannot be seen, it can be only be experienced, and you can call it a non-physical world.
Mhm, mhm. Understood. So help me understand one more thing, another term before we, get into a deeper conversation. The meaning of spirit guides. How can I really identify who is my spirit guide? Or because it's going to be different for everyone, if I'm not wrong.
Yes.
So how do I, really identify my spirit guide and then connect with him or her? Or is it like actually a person I can refer with the pronouns him or her? Or how does that work?
So, see, it's a very huge spectrum. And when we say the spirit guides, these are the energy beings. These are the beings from the higher realms who are always around us and helping us. Okay.
Mhm,
Now, it is said that every person is born with either one, two, or three limited set of numbers where they have that spirit guides with them permanently. Okay. There are times, if I have to give you an example, in our life, we come across such situation where we feel ki, oh, I was just about to reach there, but my train got delayed and I didn't reach on time. And something happened at that location where you were supposed to meet someone. How does this work? There was some energy which made sure that you are not at that spot at that time because it could be dangerous for you. So maybe you forgot your phone, you had to go back and you missed those 2 minutes, or you got a call and you were talking to them and you missed your train. Something
Yep.
like this. These are no coincidences. Let me tell you, nothing in the world is coincidences, and magic does exist. So these are incidences, we can call them, that our spirit guides are supporting us, they are protecting us. So they're making sure that we are safe at all times. These are the energies you cannot see, you can feel. And since you also very spiritual, I know that you understand that there are a lot of aspect and a lot of things in spirituality which you need to experience. There is no proof of that okay, I can see it or I can touch it or something.
Mhm.
These are the energies that are always around us. They communicate with us in synchronicities or the angel numbers, or in a way that we suddenly get an insight out of nowhere. This is the way they communicate with us. So you know there is a higher power who's looking after you. Now, if I have to say about spirit guides, there are different types of spirit guides. It could be angels, archangels, our god goddesses that we pray to, now beings of light, animal spirit guides, our ancestors, ascended masters. When I say ascended masters is someone who has lived as a human being and then they have ascended into higher realms. It could be Krishna, Ram, Jesus, or Mahavatar Babaji, or anyone. All of these are our spirit guides. Now, how, someone may come and ask that, you asked that, how do I know that this is my spirit guide? They are always around us. When they know that a person is ready to be familiar with our energies, they will appear through their meditations, through their conversations. You will hear people constantly talking about a particular angel or god or goddesses. that is your cue that, okay, maybe I need to tap into this energy and see if this is my spirit guide. Once you connect with that energy, you know, through your intuitive inner voice or a meditation, you can come to know whether this energy is your spirit guide or not.
Okay. Okay. Amazing. So it's basically gonna be the right time when they're gonna be, appearing in front of us through the process of meditation or any other channels possible.
That's true.
Got it. Uh, Binita, moving forward, I believe our listeners understand what Akashic reading is. But yes, as you respond to the question, I would request if you can also give a very one or two lines understanding of Akashic reading. But my question is, I was going through while researching for this podcast, I was checking other Akashic readers' pages as well. And I came across a case study that was shared where a woman had issues and she had shared with an Akashic reader that every female in her family was either widowed or divorced.
Mm.
Now, and this was a pattern she was able to see from certain lineage happening from, certain her grandparents' time and a lot. And everybody in her family, all her aunts were either, divorced or widowed. She reached out to an Akashic reader who did the reading and shared that it was because of something that happened in the past in her like lineage, where any of the, grand female out there, the grand parents of in her lineage, the female had suffered some pain because of losing her husband, and she had somewhere or the other made a promise that love brings pain.
Mm.
And that was the reason that all the females in her lineage were going through this, singlehood in form of either being divorced or widowed. So, how does this whole thing work? And then she cured it, like sort of she helped channel that message further and resolve that point. So, how does this whole process work actually? So what I'm trying to ask is, can the Akashic reading really help us do this? And if yes, how does it really help?
Okay. All right. So, see, definitely Akashic record reading is the information about our past lives, our lineage, our ancestors, everyone. And a soul is born in a particular family because of a reason. So the child chooses the family, child chooses mother, father, and it chooses the lineage as well for a reason. So the cases that we always hear that, sometimes there are repetitive patterns, like the example that you just gave, that female lineage was not very happy in their romantic relationships, each and every one of them in their family. So
Mhm.
this could be the case of the karmic oath. Okay, sometimes the human beings, because we feel that pain and trauma and whatever the mindset that soul was in at that moment affects everything that they are going to decide henceforth. Now, it is when we are talking about the ancestors also, it is always said that whatever decision we are taking as a person, as a one lineage, it affects the next three generations. Akashic becomes a very good way of finding out the root causes for such uh, issues where the entire family is suffering. When we talk about the, say, repetitive patterns, maybe the finance or relationship or something, it could be individuals also. But specifically in this case, it is for the entire family. So we tap into the Akashic records, we find out the root cause, then we try and ask the guides of that person that whether we are allowed to do the healing right now, because Akashic records reading is completely based on the karma theory, incarnation, and past life. So if that person has not learned the lesson, or if that family has still have to go through certain karmic deaths, then there are chances that their guides will say, no, you have to wait, you cannot do the healing right now. But healing, most of the time, healing is possible from there, and we can resolve the issue like this. I'll give you one of the example where the entire family was involved in something like this. A client of mine, she came and she was having an issue with her 9-year-old. She felt that as her child was growing, the daughter was becoming emotionally very distant. She went to the pediatrician, she went to the counselors and trying to understand the situation. And but medically there was nothing wrong, they couldn't help beyond a point and all. So she came to me and she said that this is what is happening. So I opened her Akashic records, and the cause, that when I was trying to search for the cause, it took me to her grandmother. And in her lifetime, the grandmother had lost few of her children at very young age. In earlier times, we know there was no medical facility. There were these epidemics, and lack of information. There's no education and all. So grandmother had lost the children either in womb or just when they were born, or even a very young age, before 1 year old and all. That was a very traumatizing experience for the grandmother, like three, four death, small kids. And for mother, she's very vulnerable at that time. So she thought that shutting myself emotionally is going to really help me. It's going to make me strong. And the same thing she passed down to her daughter, to her granddaughter. So in her family, everyone around her was very strong, but very emotionally detached. So it ran in the family. But she had chosen to break this pattern, and that's why she was born in the family. The daughter became an instrument for her to help this pattern break. So when she started working on her healing, she took three, four, few of the Akashic sessions, and we healed the lineage, we healed her childhood and everything. Her equation with her daughter started shifting. So that's the power of Akashic record reading.
Wow. Wow. But how do you explain it to a logical mind out there?
So see, spirituality is, there's no logic. Once you start putting your logic into it, a person fails to surrender. The more you surrender, our gurus and everyone has said that there are different ways, bhakti marg, yoga marg and everything. Everyone is teaching us how to reach to the divine, how to reach the source. There is no proof, right? I mean, say if we take a bhakti marg, we chanting, we praying, we meditating, we praying to a particular god. There is no proof that doing this is going to give me nirvana. But that faith in that person, the intention of that person makes him or her so powerful that those energies are sent into the universe, and actually he starts elevating his energetic vibration around him. So there is no logical explanation, because as I said again and again, there is no proof. There is no proof that you can see, that you can touch. It is energy. Science has proved that we all are made up of energy, and we see the shift in our energy when we are maybe spending time in nature, when we are going into say ocean, dipping our feet, we journaling, we're meditating, we chanting, going to the temple. We do feel the shift that time. There is no need for a proof that, okay, because I'm going to the temple or I'm going to a prayer room, my energies are shifting. We feel it within ourselves. So there is
Yeah,
no proof, you just feel it.
understood. Understood. So, coming back to channeling, can channeling really help me enhance my decision-making capacities?
Absolutely. So, we live in a modern life, very fast-paced life. We are distracted by the gadgets and all. We are missing out the essence that is within us. We miss out to listen to our inner voice. We miss our alignment because of all these distractions. That is why, every time it is said that you need to pause, you need to go back to your own self. Channeling allows us to do so. So when we are channeling, we are completely aligned, mind, body, and soul. We are completely aligned with the nature around us, with the divine above us. And in that moment, we are listening to the correct guidance that we need in our lives. Say someone is having a situation at their workplace, okay? A lot of politics, office politics is going on, and they really feel very confused and don't know whom to trust and all. At that time, if that person is aligning with the spirit guides and channeling in that moment, show me the way to move forward. And we need to be consistently practicing in that space. So, yeah, channeling always helps, even in our daily life, even in our mundane life, where we are finding answers. How do I go from here in my career? What do I do in my relationship? Is this the right person for me? These are the daily questions that we have. Channeling helps finding the answers for those.
Wow, amazing. And can you share any anecdotes from your personal experience where you experienced the channeling for the first time?
For me, I never realized for longest time that, automatically I started channeling. So it came to me when I channeled the messages to create my animal spirit guide, oracle set. It's a dice set, and I started connecting with the animal energies, through my Akashic sessions. And then I realized, okay, this is, even if I am not into my Akashic library, I'm directly connecting with these energies. That was the first time I realized that, this is my channeling. I communicated with my guides, and I had few questions about it. That was cleared, and I created that entire set of 32 dice pieces, and that was my first experience where felt that, okay, now I'm full-fledged, I'm channeling. So that was an amazing experience for me.
But help me understand, Benita, the Wheel of Time, the OTT series I was referring to, where I saw channeling in its, essence out there. It is shown that men should not be, practicing channeling out there. So my question is, are there any dangers or misconceptions out there? I know both the genders can channel, all the genders can channel, but apart from this, are there any potential dangers or misconception people should be aware about regarding channeling?
So the biggest misconception people hold is they feel that this is, if you are gifted, only then you can channel. That's not true. We all have connection, to the higher beings. We all have our intuitive powers. It's just that we need that consistent practice and a little bit of effort from our side. And we all can channel. So that's the biggest misconception, that only the gifted can channel. That's not true. There are no dangers in doing the channeling work, because we're just connecting with the higher beings that we feel the most connected with. See, there will be times when we maybe feel connected with Ma Kali at one point. Maybe next year someone will be more connected to Hanumanji. It is the journey of our life, or whatever characteristics that we need to imbibe, that energy is going to show up in your place. The person will feel very attracted to that energy. So you just need to have that wonderful connection with them, have faith and trust that I am connecting with that energy and they are guiding with me. Logic is a killer. So if you start questioning, then you are not trusting that connection that a person has with their own higher power. So yeah, there are no dangers at all. It's like you going into a temple and praying, joining your hands and praying. What are we doing? We are connecting, right?
Yeah,
But in channeling, it's more streamlined. There are certain, steps that we take to protect our energy, to shield ourselves, and then, because energy is energy, right? It can be good, it can be bad as well. So a person needs to connect to a right kind of energy. So we have a certain kind of a protocol, but it is safe for everyone.
understood. Another terminology, Benita, I have heard a lot in this enigmatic realm that we are discussing right now, is the concept of twin flame. What exactly is twin flame, and is it synonymous to finding your soulmate out there?
So I feel, it's my personal opinion. There are a lot of people who are having opinion on these two terms. Soulmate are someone, it's like you learning, you having your parallel journey with it. We all have heard about soul families, we all have heard about the soul contracts and everything. So soul mate is someone with whom you are supposed to learn certain kind of lessons, okay, and you're going to have a journey. Now, twin flame, I have never experienced in any of my sessions or any of my in this spiritual journey about twin flame, but masters have said that twin flame is your learning that you have to do, and you have created a kind of a contract with a particular soul, and most of the time it is very painful, because both of them are learning. Sometimes you are into a toxic relationships, you are into a narcissistic relationship. So there is very thin line. So I really don't advocate the term twin flame, or I don't really encourage people when they feel that they are into a very difficult situation and could be their twin flame. Because as I was saying, it's a very thin line. Sometimes people, because it's a comfort, they prefer to stay into that abusive relationship or a narcissistic relationship. So, in my opinion, definitely in both the terms, the soul has a connection where they have to learn from each other, grow from each other, and have a kind of a conducive environment that you can have a peaceful and harmonious life. But sometimes people misunderstand that and they think that staying in this relationship is my fate because it's my twin flame, and they continue to go through the suffering. So it's very thin line. We need to understand that.
Probably, I believe, moving away from that narcissistic relationship is the learning. I often believe because recently, I would say around a month back, I was watching a video on YouTube where, for the very first time, the concept of marriage was presented as a measure of learning and evolving the soul. Otherwise, for any other, video I would have watched on marriage and relationships, it was all about love. And again, we are living in a Bollywood era where it is so fantasized, fantasized and put in a such a manner where it's all love. But nobody shows the, efforts you have to put in to earn that love and give back that love. It's not just a single way journey, it's a bilateral path, dual channel that's happening. And for the first time from that video, I, understood that, okay, if you're looking for a partner for marriage, it's not just about that love or romanticizing that relationship. It's also about understanding the evolution your soul will be getting from there.
Yeah, I absolutely agree with you. And when our elders have created a institution called marriage, a lot goes into it. See, if we talk about love, we are also learning about self-love and how to give love. Earlier, the joint families were there, so you were supposed to be patient. You need to understand everyone's need, and it's a kind of a community where you were thriving because of each other's support. Everyone was thriving, everyone was spiritually growing. When we talk about marriage, there is also the part of physical intimacy. And when we are talking about energy, it's important that we also talk about the energy, how it functions into institution called marriage. When people have multiple partner, they are becoming vulnerable energetically to absorb uh, certain kind of energy which may not be good for them. So when I say I will be talking slightly about the spirit communication. So what is spirit communication? We spoke about the spirit guides and all the positive energy that we talk about, but there is also the other side of the energy where not all energies are good. Some of them are spirits bound to earth. There are entities that we are attaching ourselves to. So when someone is physically and energetically vulnerable, during the intimacy, they are becoming an invitation to maybe the bad energies which are not good for them. So when the structure of marriage was created, that was one way of protecting a person's energy. One partner, you know that you are married to them and you are being loyal to them, and so from an energetic perspective, it is much more deeper than what we understand now. Then there are other aspect of marriage. Then, the children come into place sometimes. And as I was saying, the children chooses, a child chooses his or her parents. So that there also you are maybe getting over with your karmic debts. You are learning the lessons that you needed to learn as your soul's journey. So it's just not about marriage. There are lot of layers when we talk about the institution of marriage.
Oh, oh. I guess discussing about the marriage and its institution is going to be a long topic. Coming back to spirit communication, Binita, I would like to understand, can spirit communication help in resolving the unresolved issues with our loved ones, those who have passed. Like I keep hearing in astrological terms, the Pitra Dosh out there. And we have, I don't know, plethora of measures being suggested by astrologers to go out and, do some pujas to get rid of the Pitra Dosh out there. And I'm assuming that Pitra Dosh and resolving issues with the loved ones who have passed is nearly the same thing. So if not, please correct me. And how can spirit communication help us with that?
Okay. So spirit communication is all about communicating with the energies that are around us. So what we see is our physical world, but there are also other energy being whom we don't see. They also exist with us. Spirit communication is all about communicating with all kind of energies, all kind of spirits. Now, when I say spirit, one, we have already discussed about the spirit guides. Okay, those are the energy beings from the higher realm, and mostly they are here to guide us or support us. But there are also the souls who are still have not been able to cross over. They are called earthbound souls. Then there are entities. Then there are spirits who are mischievous. So spirit communication is going to, that topic completely covers all of that. When you say that we have to, can we resolve the issues with our ancestors? And if someone wishes to talk to them or connect with their energies, that would be the mediumship, where we are connecting with the deceased family members and a person is getting closure. So at times when there are sudden death, there are accidents on the road, and they have not been able to meet their loved ones back home, family, friends, wives. COVID was such time where people were not allowed to go to the hospital, and the government was taking care of the last rites and everything. Those are the time the mediumship really helps to connect with the departed soul. And that departed soul could be someone whom you knew, or it could also mean from your lineage as well. So that's a mediumship that we are talking about. And Pitru Dosh and all would be something where a family is going through a certain kind of issue. Say, entire family always, the one example that you spoke about, someone, the ladies were not able to stay married, or even if they were married, they were not happily enjoying their lives.
Yeah.
This could be the pattern where that entire family is maybe cursed or under some oath or under some contract. These can be resolved by Akashic record reading. And Pitrudosh, when we say, most of the times, the ancestor that is the cause of that particular issue that a family is facing, they reincarnate as their own descendants. They come into the family, and it becomes their own journey to free the family from whatever they are facing. So that's how it all works.
Oh, I thought it's gonna be easier, but it's in itself a whole world out. How can we really understand that spirits are trying to communicate with us, and what messages are they conveying us? Like we talked about angel numbers and all those things. So can you help us decode this mystery out here?
Okay, so there are a few ways our spirit guides would be communicating with us. One would be a sudden insight. Like, say, someone is just walking in the park, listening to their music, and suddenly, out of the blue, they receive an idea that how they can go about their own PPT in the office. That's your spirit guide communicating with you. So what's happening when the person has gone for a walk? They are absolutely relaxed in a very comfortable space, and they are in a phase where they can listen to the guidance that is coming through. That's one way. The second way, now every one of us is constantly, carrying our laptops, our phones, our everything. So digital clock, those digital numbers, they become a consistent reminder that maybe you need to pay attention to this, whatever is going on in your mind, or you are on a right path. So whenever someone sees the angel numbers, they should just pause and see what they were thinking a minute before or a second before. It becomes a kind of a validation to know that this is the message that I am receiving from my guides. Then there are feathers. They are very clear signs from our spirit guides that they are around us, they are protecting us. Then there would be synchronicity in conversations where you are maybe a person is thinking about a certain issue. They go to the office, the colleague speaks about that. They come home, wife speaks about that, the same thing. It is kind of a validation that, okay, the idea that I am playing with, maybe I should work on that idea because today I heard from two people and it's my sign from my guides. So these are the way people can understand how guides are trying to help them.
Understood. Understood. No, finally, I know whenever I'm seeing those angel numbers, I need to reflect back. Because so far I was like, okay, I'm seeing 1111 out there, or the same consistent numbers in my the meter of petrol. And I was like, okay, what to do with these? But today, I guess that's been
But
people
it's just not that simple. There is also each number carries a vibration, and each number's combination is also going to carry a vibration. So it's much more deeper than that. But just for the conversation's sake, I just simplified it. But of course, you can go deeper into the angel numbers.
amazing. Would love to have a separate conversation on that. Uh,
Definitely.
Will help me understand, and one another apart from Pitra Dosh, another thing that's really pertinent in our Hindu culture, often heard in the northern belt specifically, is the black magic, the Kala Jadoo, and a lot of people talk about it. And in my certain conversations with people who believe in black magic, they have shared instances again beyond the explanation of logic and science. um, but can Akashic reading be the medium or the channel to identify if somebody is suffering from it? And second, to resolve that or to overcome that, the effects, negative effects of black magic?
Okay. So answer is yes and no. Akashic reading definitely can help a person to identify what the cause is and how to heal from it and all. But not necessarily every time you need to open the Akashic record. That's where the spirit communication comes in, where we are dealing with the dark, dense energies. Not always it's someone has planted because they have ill intention, for that for that person. So they have planted that energy. It's not always like that. Sometimes the energies we attract because of our own lower vibrations, and sometimes we become an invitation, so it is easier for people to implant the energies on us. So it goes both ways. So it's not necessarily that a person needs to open their Akashic record reading. A simple session of spirit communication can help them.
Understood.
Yeah. So that can be done both ways.
Okay. And the resolution part?
Resolution, so it depends on case to case basis. Um, how the person's energies are, what are their symptoms, and so that will be, because there is no formula that for every case we are going to follow this particular system. Every case is different, every energy is very different. So there are some mischievous energies that wouldn't go easily, even if they are implanted or not implanted on a person. There will be some energies that are that doesn't want to go because they enjoy the space that a person is offering them. So it's very case to case basis that how we resolve it.
Understood. Understood. May you help me understand about the world of tarot cards?
Mm.
It's we just see somebody picking up a tarot card and giving us that message. Now, how does that science behind or the magic of tarot cards work? And what should we? Because you told me that for understanding the black magic concept, Akashic records are not required, but spirit communication really helps. So, where should somebody be really going for assistance through tarot card reading?
Um, Tarot cards, they are beautifully designed and they have beautiful imagery onto them. This is a gateway for any reader to connect with the higher realms for the client if they are reading. In my experience, tarot card readings are amazing and beautiful. They bring in a lot of information when we are tapping into the current energies, or we are exploring the opportunities and the possibilities that are available to a person.
Mhm.
Akashic record reading is more about the past life, the lineage that we spoke about, the incarnation, why a person has taken the birth into this timeline, to this family, why he or she is married to their spouse, that kind of a thing. Spirit communication is all about how you can protect your energy of your loved ones, how you can, if imagine a person is aligned at all times with the wonderful positive energies, they are never going to make a wrong decisions, right? And some people are so energetically powerful that even if they are not healers or readers, they attract this kind of energy. Again, we will go to the Akashic record reading, why they are consistently attracting either the implanting of the energies or why they are becoming the invitation to these energy. So actually, it's very interconnected, but still very separate. So as I was saying, that's case by case, we can take this forward. So tarot
Understood.
card reading is definitely, as you were asking, it's tapping into the right kind of energies, checking out your possibilities and opportunities that are available to you.
Oh, oh. So, Binita, help me understand another point where if I get to a place where I'm able to communicate with spirits
Mm.
and I'm regularly, seeking the guidance from my spirits, does this in a manner become a dependency of myself, my being, to be in constant communication with the spirits and always seeking their advice? So, does it become a dependency? And if yes, how do I prevent this?
Sometimes it does become like a dependency because there is a very thin line, as I have always kept on saying. The best thing a person can do is wherever the logical information, logical data is required, using the logical information available to them is going to be the one way of not becoming too dependent on the energies. See, there is no dependency if we are communicating with our guides. Like we go to temple and we pray every day. We're not becoming dependent. When it becomes a problem that when superstition comes in, oh, today I didn't pray, today I didn't show diya, so okay, something is going to happen. That is not a right space to function from. Our guides always wants to, they want us to be, be there, take action, be courageous. They don't want us to fall into a superstitious key, okay, because we didn't show diya today, something is going to happen to us. And they are not really there. It is our physical manifestation of way of connecting with them. They are not expecting you to show them the prasad or show them, you worship them. They are not expecting that, right? Wherever you are supposed to, a person is supposed to require apply their logical information, data, and everything. They should be applying their logical mind. Another way is also, see, even if we are spiritual, we need to use our common sense. None of the spiritual guru or mentors are ever going to tell them that if you are spiritual and if you are praying to the divine, you have to leave your common sense behind. So that is one very strong point people should keep in mind, even if they are spiritual. But we ultimately we have to live into this human existence on this earthly plane, right? So we cannot do away with the common sense and the logical data and the information that is available to us.
Yeah, any specific anecdotes you would like to share with our listeners, which will, strengthen their belief in the power of Akashic reading, spirit communication out there?
So whenever we are completely aligned with our own energy, the energy that we spoke about, that not always we are going to feel it or we don't have a proof of it, but there is a faith that there is something bigger than us, higher than us, who is actually, operating this entire universe. When you have that kind of a faith, you are completely aligned. When you are spending time with yourself, reflecting, in nature also, you are able to hear a inner voice. That is absolutely required. A human life, a earthly existence, what does it require? It requires harmony, a peace, a joy. That's what we all are seeking, comfort, and abundance that we want to receive. Whenever we are completely aligned, when we are pulling our energies from the physical world, time and again, not constantly, but time and again, when we are resetting our energies with the higher beings, with our inner voice. The life that we choose, the decisions that we make are always going to be for our highest good. So, balancing the physical life, the spiritual life, and maintaining that balance for a wonderful, harmonious life is very, very important. A person cannot be just on the physical realm. Okay, I'm going to be really very materialistic. Everything what I'm going to do is for myself. No, there are some virtues that our spirituality teaches us. It's about helping people or doing something for the environment. Those are the energies that we need to really balance out with our physical existence. That is the best way to live a wonderful life. I feel that's very important.
Nice, nice. Thanks. You talked about inner voice. So how do I really strengthen my inner voice with the support of Akashic reading out there? Or can it help also?
So, when a person learns to read and tap into the Akashic realm, they are every time they are exercising their intuitive muscles. So, learning Akashic record reading becomes an important step in developing a relationship with body awareness and with our intuitive muscles. Why body awareness? Because there are four types of clairs that every human being is born with. When a person is tapping into the Akashic energy, they will receive the messages through visions, through words, through the sensation in the body or the feelings in the body. So having a body awareness is also very important. One way to continue this work, okay? There is this thing that a person will every day is tapping into the records, visiting the records and bringing in the insight. That's one way. But our life happens every day is not the same day. There will be times when the person doesn't have time. So, what are the things that can be done to strengthen the intuition? Journaling is one of the best ways. When someone is starting their journey in developing their intuition, every time they are not going to get the perfect hit key. Okay, there was a thought, but I am not sure if that thought was an intuitive message or not. I am going to write it down, date it, and wait for that incident to happen. If that incident takes place, then I know that what I was getting was my hunch. My inner voice was trying to tell me something. With that journaling, I have also written down that, okay, this was the thought that I came. This is how I felt. Maybe I felt bitter. Maybe I felt like crying, or I saw this vision. So those details are also put into the journaling. So consistently maintaining that is also going to help a person because intuition is very individual attribute. The way my intuition is going to work is going to be very different from how other person's intuition work. So when I am maintaining a journal or a diary of all the incidences that happened around that one thought, it's giving me the look into how my intuition is trying to connect with me. It is people need to be patient. It's not like overnight we are going to tap into that. Yeah, if you are a healer or a reader, it becomes a little easier. But otherwise, when a person is a normal person and not really interested in pursuing a healing, then this is the way it can be developed.
Wow, amazing. Amazing. Um, Binda, any final message you'd like to share with our listeners before we, conclude our conversation for today?
Yes. I would just like to say one thing that people sometimes believe that spirituality is equivalent to religion, but it's not so. Religion is something that was created later by the society to control the masses. But spirituality is the way of life. It's the way we breathe. It's the way we survive. So bringing in spirituality into our mundane life, into our human existence is extremely important. And I would be really very happy if everyone can bring in that spirituality within themselves. So that's a message for the audience also, for the listeners also, that please bring in that one or two activity which is bringing you closer to your alignment, to your soul. Yeah.
I totally echo with you on the thought that often people mix and overlap spirituality and religion. There is a fine difference out there, and totally in alignment with you. Thanks a lot, Benita.
Thank you for having me and for bringing out such wonderful conversation. Thank you, Pulkit.
Pleasure is all mine. Pleasure is all mine. And listeners, If you're feeling overwhelmed, carrying some worries or stress triggers, remember you're not alone. We warmly invite you to share your concerns anonymously on a dedicated mental health platform. The link is provided in description, and slowly we are trying to make this initiative global as well. We have now experts and partners coming in to support us globally. We had just partnered with people from Gurgaon as well as London. So you keep your eyes open for We Are Listening logos, and feel free just scan the QR code and vent out whatever you feel like. It's all anonymous. Nobody is gonna be knowing that you have shared it. But yes, if you're seeking support, we do also have an option where you can reach out to us for the professional help. Thank you, and until next time, please remember, we are listening.